Hi everybody, I'm Pastor Rick in Lunenburg. Welcome back to Story Corner. To begin today, I would like to show you a painting that is hanging in one of the churches where I work. It was painted back in 1990, that's 31 years ago, by a member of the congregation named Madelyn. It's a big painting. It's 8 feet, that's almost 2.5 meters wide, and 4 feet, that's over a meter high. It's big. She wanted to remind the children in the Sunday school that Jesus loved hanging out with kids. Keep that image in your mind as I tell you one of the stories of Jesus from the Bible. This story is a big story. It's one of the most famous stories about Jesus in the entire Bible. It is so popular and so big that all 4 of the books in the Bible that tell the stories of Jesus, which we call Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, all tell this story. It's big. It's that important. It's called The Feeding of the 5,000. Jesus got in a boat and sailed across the Sea of Galilee. The Romans call it the Sea of Tiberias. A huge crowd followed him, attracted by the miracles they had seen him do among the sick. When he got to the other side, he climbed a hill and sat down, surrounded by his disciples. It was nearly time for the feast of the Passover, which is kept every year by the Jewish people. When Jesus looked out and saw that a large crowd had arrived, he said to Philip, "Where can we buy bread to feed all these people?" He said this to stretch Philip's faith. He already knew what he was going to do. Philip answered, 200 silver pieces wouldn't be enough to buy bread for each person, even to get 1 piece. Andrew, another of the disciples, the brother of Simon Peter, said, "There's a little boy here who has 5 barley loaves and 2 fish, but that's a drop in the bucket for a crowd like this." Jesus said, "Have the people sit down." There was a nice carpet of green grass in this place. They sat down, about 5,000 of them. Then Jesus took the bread, and having given thanks, gave it to those who were seated. He did the same with the fish. They all ate as much as they wanted. The people realized that God was at work among them in what Jesus had just done. They said, "This is the prophet for sure, God's prophet, right here in Galilee." I've got some questions for you now. What did you notice about the telling of this story? What did you notice about the pictures? Did the people look like you? If they did look like you, how does that make you feel? If they did not look like you, how does that make you feel? Are the people in the Bible stories that we read supposed to look like us? I told you this story this way to help us all begin to realize that Jesus was not white like me. Jesus was a person of color. We need to remember that these days, especially when racism is finally being noticed. Now remember that painting I showed you at the beginning? A couple of years ago, someone was talking with Madelyn about that painting. And you know what Madelyn said? She said, if I had to do it over again, I would still paint Jesus with the children, because Jesus likes hanging out with kids. But, she said, I would not paint Jesus as a white person. Madelyn had begun to learn that Jesus was a person of color. We thank Madelyn for learning and for helping us to learn as well. Thanks for joining me here in Story Corner. We'll see you next time.